Hello, I'm Helene Oberman, Managing Director of Interior Design Magazine, and I'd like to welcome you. So we are here today to discuss Cersaie, the global destination where one can learn about the latest product innovations and the hottest design trends from the world's leading manufacturers of surfaces and bathroom furnishings. The show takes place in the very lively city of Bologna, known for its magnificent buildings and its maze of medieval lanes weaving through century-old porticos. So after a very long year on hiatus, both the show and the city are waiting to be rediscovered. And with that, I like to say, bentornato a Cersaie e Bologna, welcome back. With me to provide insight into Cersaie and some of the design trends you will be seeing both at the show and on the streets of Bologna are Cristina Faedi, Manager of Promotional Activities for Ceramics of Italy, and Kristen Coleman, Senior Vice President of Novità Communications. Benvenute. Welcome, ladies.
Grazie.
Grazie.
So first off, there may be some in our audience who are just not familiar with the show. So, Cristina, can you tell us what is Cersaie?
Well, Cersaie is the most important international exhibition for ceramic tiles and bathroom furnishing. As you said, it takes place in Bologna and it comes every year. Unfortunately, we couldn't have the last edition in 2020, but we are ready for 2021.
We all are. Okay, so when and where will it be taking place? Obviously, you said Bologna, but where in the city?
Yeah, it will be now more or less 2 months. So we'll start on September 27th until October the 1st. It will be the 38th edition of the show. And we can say it will be one of the most important international show that will happen after the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. So Italy and Bologna are back open and welcoming visitors again?
Yes. The show, we are proud to say that is happening in person. So that this is a very important issue. And we are almost fully booked. We can say we are close to 100% as to the rates of, to the figures of 2019. So this is a good result. And the 15 pavilions we have there are complete. And we will have 600 exhibitors there. We can say that half of those exhibitors come from abroad, from 25 countries. And so we think that this is a great result and these figures could attract many visitors. And to do that, to help them to organize their trip, we arrange a special section on our website. And the section is called Bologna Together. And this will help the visitor, but also the exhibitor to organize their trip to Italy. So they can check information on flights, hotel, and taxi, trains, restaurants, and whatever. And also every safety disposition will be at hand for all those who want to visit Cersaie and Bologna.
Mm-hmm. So obviously make it as easy as possible for someone both to exhibit and to attend. Let's dive into some of the great specialties that both the city and the region are known for.
The people that will come to Bologna will not only find in Cersaie, of course, tiles and sanitary ware and all the other sectors that are displayed there, but also a very welcoming city from the food point of view, for example, because maybe not all of you know that Parmesan cheese and prosciutto and tortellini come from there, but also the surroundings and the area around Bologna is very interesting. For example, Sassuolo, that is the cradle of ceramic tiles, Italian ceramic tiles, and there supercars like Ferrari and Lamborghini and Maserati are constructed, but also balsamic vinegar and thermal bath, and so it's a very very interesting country to explore. And why not? If there is time enough to have just a couple of days of rest there and enjoy the surroundings.
It certainly sounds like a foodie's heaven. But Christina, you really took advantage of this last year and used the opportunity to re-envision the look and feel of the show, both from the exhibition layouts really down to the branding. So let's start with the new logo for Cersaie. What does the concept stand for?
Yeah, so the new logo is a square, a cube that opens to new opportunities and multiplies in different pixels to explore new vision of the future. And in fact, the payoff says um, open to evolution. So just to signify the desire to embrace new stimuli and develop them into fresh opportunities. So that's the graphic visual of our advertising.
Okay, and of course, in terms of the exhibition center itself, for those who've attended the show previously, they will be pleasantly surprised to see the new and improved look of the exhibition center. So what will they find there?
So the exhibition background, so in Bologna, just developed with 3 new areas and new pavilions. So we will surely take advantage of this. And we have, especially for all number 37, that is brand new, and allowed us to recreate and redesign the entire layout, especially focused on ceramic tile.
In one of these halls, the contract hall, you have an exhibition called Archi Contract, which is devoted to 10 prestigious, I think all Italian architecture firms. So what will they be showing this year?
Yeah, I mean, the concept of the contract hall, which is brand new for this year edition, and Arcane Contract, that is the center of this all, is the one that I mentioned before, so open to evolution. And in fact, you will find there these 10 architectural firms that are especially devoted to contract. So they are famous, they're international firms, and they're famous for their works with real estate. Around those exhibit spaces, there will be other exhibitors of other section different from tiles and sanitary ware. That means kitchens, interiors and exterior finishing, lighting technology, home automation, outdoor design, and wellness.
So definitely even more than just tile.
Yes.
Okay, but of course, Cersaie is not just about the latest product innovations, but you also have the ability to really delve into what is happening in the industry and hearing from some design luminaries. So what can one expect from your Building, Dwelling, Thinking conference?
Building Dwelling Thinking is a cultural program. It has become, in the years, more and more famous. And people who attend the show will have the opportunity to attend also prestigious lectures by leading architects, famous at international level. And I'm happy to announce that this year, on October the 1st, we will have the Pritzker Prize Shigeru Ban with us, and delivering is a Lectio Magistralis. So it's a prestigious name, and we are very happy to have it with us for the second time, actually, but the first time it wasn't Pritzker Prize. Yes, it became, it was awarded in 2014.
Well, and I have to admit that Shigeru Ban is actually an Interior Design Hall of Famer as well.
Yeah, and many more conferences are in progress, but I'm not allowed to speak about that now, so I cannot reveal other names. So,
okay, well, everyone's just going to have to be patient and hold out to closer to showtime, correct?
True.
Okay, so I know there's some out there in the audience that really like to get your hands dirty and learn from the experts, and you also will have some live demos about tile installation.
Yes, so we have the Tiling Town. It's a unique opportunity to discover everything you need to know about tile installation and to do your job well and protect yourself from disputes. It is organized by Cersaie and Assoposat. It is the Association of Tilers, and it's specially dedicated to architects and tile layers and dealers. And there you can attend technical seminars, but also practical tile line demonstration. That is always very, very interesting and involving.
Kristen, we don't want to leave you out of the conversation. So do you have any programs for the international design trade? And can you tell us a little bit more about that?
We do. So for years now, Cersaie has organized a program called Cersaie Business, where they invite specifiers from all over the world. And for myself, working at Novita, I'm working with the ceramics industry for a long time. So we run the North American delegation. So we bring architects, designers, including the winners of our annual tile competition. So I highly recommend you, for those out there who have projects with Italian tile, definitely submit, because you do get the chance to come. But we also bring journalists as well from the US and Canada. So it's a really nice group. We get CEU credits for it. We spend 5 days or more in Bologna. So going to the show, going to visit a tile factory, eating your weight in gelato. So there's a lot to do.
No, I know that my lovely dear colleague, Edie Cohen, we call her the tile maven because I know she's part of the delegation this year.
Mm-hmm.
So.
She is. We love Edie. She kind of helps at this point. She helps us lead the trip.
Well, you know, as much as we all would love to be at the show live and in person, and of course be enjoying that gelato, but what about for those who are unable to attend? Is there a virtual component?
Well, we are very happy to hold our show in physical version finally, but at the same time, Cersaie is presenting Cersaie Digital. It's a new digital platform to support the physical show where visitor can meet and do business in a distance. So whether they want to make the most of their time spent at Cersaie or are, as you said, unable to attend the exhibition in person. And it's running 3 weeks, which means from September the 20th to October the 8th. So 1 week before the physical show and 1 week after. And the ticket office is now open on cersaie.it. So we encourage everyone to register there, because the ticket will be the same for coming physically in Bologna or to enter the digital section of Cersaie Digital. And there you will have two main opportunities. The first one is to see to have a preview and to see, even during the show, all the new products that will be launched at the show, but also to create an additional network place where to meet the exhibitors. So we think it's a good opportunity to support the physical show in this still very difficult period we are all living.
Okay, so with all this talk about Cersaie, one may be asking, why tile?
That's such a great question, Helene. So, I mean, as you know, designers have used ceramic tile for centuries, right? Because it's beautiful, but it's also a workhorse. So now with advances in technology, and as we've seen over the past year, a global concern for, public safety, hygiene, indoor air quality, I think it's become even more relevant today. So like from a material standpoint, ceramic tile is made from natural materials. It's, mainly sand and clay and other natural materials for porcelain. But it's fired at high temperatures to create, a non-porous, hard-wearing, durable material. It doesn't retain dirt. It's naturally inhospitable to bacteria and mold. Because it's inert, it doesn't burn. which also means that in the case of fire, it won't release toxic substances into the air, which can be a problem with other materials. So yeah, so I think for all of those reasons, that's why ceramic tile is fantastic, because it addresses the need for eco-friendly products, but also delivers standout quality and style without affecting occupant health.
Okay, well, let's think about the idea of style, right? And let's just talk trends and
Yep.
what we'll be seeing at the show this year. So we all know things are getting better and things actually are getting bigger. So at the show this year, it looks like tiles are actually going to the extreme, and that's the size, that is.
Yeah, you're certainly right. So I mean, Italian manufacturers were one of the first ones to develop these extra large porcelain tiles, but they continue to evolve each year. So right now they come in sizes up to about 5¼ by 10½ feet. And thicknesses range from 3 to 20 millimeters. So it's just exciting to see how it evolves every year. You know, there are thousands of designs to choose from. So, you know, more minimal tiles can, or more minimal designs can turn the tile into an architectural covering and really highlight architectural geometries. But then there are tons of colors and bold patterns. And with a large surface, it acts kind of like ceramic wallpaper. But either way, the large format of the tiles minimize grout lines. So they create a totally seamless surface. And we're finally starting to see it pop up in projects all over the world.
And actually the extra large size are really versatile too, because it can be used in a lot of different ways. I know you kind of touched on it, but indoor, outdoor, kitchen, bath, walls, floors, facades, correct?
Totally. So, I mean, with the extra large tiles, yeah, they present a ton of possibilities for architecture, but also interiors. I mean, in terms of, you know, exteriors, like because the thin, large slabs are super lightweight, you can use them for things like exterior facades and rain screens, and to help regulate the temperature of buildings and energy savings and things like that. But we're also seeing some really exciting developments in kitchen and bath too, because in the beginning, these tiles only came in a super slim kind of profile, and now they're available in 12 and 20 millimeters, which means they can be installed in one piece, just like a slab of marble or stone. You can use them for countertops, for kitchen islands. And there's another new development, which is the introduction of marble look slabs with a through body vein. So like the companies use a controlled sedimentation process so that the veins are consistent throughout the body of the tile. And yeah, it's especially great for countertops because the edges and the corners are visually consistent with the surface. A lot of companies are making turnkey solutions too. So, you know, pedestals, shower trays, shelving. So you can literally tile every surface now if you wanted to.
It's a one-stop shop, just to get some tile. So, well, from opposite ends of the spectrum, so, you know, there's the extra large format, but then we're also seeing a slimmed down version. So how do these sort of more slimmer tiles compare to those subway tiles that we actually are also fond of?
Yeah, so it's kind of going extreme in both directions. So while you have these giant porcelain slabs, one of the micro trends that we've been seeing recently is the emergence of these super skinny tiles. I mean, subway tiles are super classic. They usually have like a 1 to 2 dimensional ratio. But these are super long and slim, and they range anywhere from like 2 by 8 inches to 3 inches by 16 inches. And they come in all types of colors and finishes. There's tons of matte options, kind of glass-like, neutral and bold colors. So they really offer an endless possibilities in terms of installation. And some of them even have really funky, like colorful pencil tiles, so you can create really interesting contrasts.
So I know that we've all spoken about the sort of health the importance of health and well-being of an individual in a lot of conversations over the last year, and how really the access of nature can improve upon one's mental and emotional state. So with that in mind, really, how do you see biophilia being incorporated into some of this year's tile designs?
So, I mean, as you know, biophilia is such a huge component of design these days. I mean, I think back to like the glass biospheres, in Seattle for Amazon that they designed. But there's also other ways that you can incorporate biophilia in more subtle ways. And for tile, believe it or not, like materials, even mimicking nature can help improve like a person's mood and perception of space. So Italian manufacturers offer all kinds of nature-inspired designs. On one hand, there's a lot of cool patterns and like palms, leaves, florals, botanical motifs. Sometimes they're realistic looking, other times they're more abstract. But there's also a lot of natural material effects. So if you incorporate a wood look plank tile, a marble slab, and they're becoming more realistic looking every year, especially with advances in digital printing and also 3D glazing.
Mhm. Well, one trend I think everybody loves is terrazzo, and it's really stood the test of time, and nobody seems to do it better than the Italians.
Terrazzo has really deep roots in Italian culture. I mean, you see it everywhere, just walking down the street in Bologna or Venice. In the tile industry, I would say it emerged as a trend between 5 to 7 years ago, especially when postmodernism was making a huge comeback in interiors and furniture. But it's definitely stuck around because it's really dynamic, right? It can work in nearly any setting, depending on the color and the scale of the flex. It could be subtle, bold, neutral, dramatic. And some manufacturers, because the tiles are digitally printed, they're even playing with terrazzo and using it as a template to incorporate different materials into one design, which I think is really interesting.
Well, I don't think terrazzo is going anywhere, and it's great to see sort of like how it's sort of becoming just a very modern pattern, even having but very historical roots. But let's face it, like we've had such a crazy last year, and I think we all really just want to make our lives like that much easier. And thankfully, all the tile manufacturers are really thinking about the ease of installation. And that's a trend you'll be seeing correct, like both for indoors and out.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I've spent the past year looking at, new products coming out of Italy, and one development, which has been really exciting, has been the emergence of these easy installation systems. And you're right, everyone wants to make their lives a little bit easier, and especially, with the remodeling market and people retrofitting their offices. And, sometimes there is a short supply of available contractors, right? So there are some systems that designers can use and install themselves. So, and I use the term install lightly, but there's floating floor systems that come with a soundproofing mat. So you can just roll down the soundproofing mat, put the tiles right over, and then it comes with a special filler. So there's no need for grout or, a professional installation of the floors. And the nice thing is, in a couple of years, if you wanted to change it, you could easily switch out the tile or switch out the floor completely. And that's something we're actually considering doing with our own office, since we're adding a little expansion to it. There's also dry interlocking systems that can help create smart floors. And it's watertight, so you can put sensors, electric wiring, control modules. They can all be placed underneath the tile surface to regulate things like temperature and lighting, which also helps to reduce energy consumption as well. So those are some of the systems on the interiors. And And then for exteriors, there's a growing collection of porcelain pavers. So they come in 2 centimeter or 3 centimeter thicknesses. And the nice part is there's a lot of nice parts, but they can be dry laid onto grass, gravel, or sand. So you can create an instant outdoor living room. I actually did this at my house this summer, which was pretty easy to do. And it also helped raise the value of our house. So that was kind of a nice bonus.
Well, Kristen, I really appreciate you really giving us sort of a deep dive into some of the trends. And Christina, I really appreciate your time and insight into Cersaie and really what everyone should be expecting at the show this year. So, mille grazie. And for our lovely audience out there, please make sure to check out the Cersaie website to learn more about attendance. And I hope to see you all in Bologna this fall. Ciao.
Ciao, Helene.
Ciao. See you there.
Here we are, Location Luxe. I'm your host, Alan Canas, and here in Season 1, we'll be focused on what we're calling the Great Lifestyle Migration. On each episode, I'll be right here in San Francisco, Silicon Valley. Over the last few decades, we've witnessed a great migration for employment and technology development. As such, the need and demand for homes has been among the highest in the country. These migration choices are giving people an extraordinary opportunity to explore new locations, amenities, and lifestyle options. And that's why we're here. Location Luxe. This week, I am so delighted to welcome the fabulous Maureen McDermott, who is a top real estate agent from Santa Barbara, who is on location. Maureen, thank you so much for joining us here today. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Alan. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk to you, share my knowledge of Santa Barbara with everybody who's watching.
We can't wait. Maureen, today you're going to take us through how Santa Barbara is so much more than a destination location. It is a beautiful lifestyle. But Maureen, before you do that, please tell us a little bit about you. And Maureen, what was your draw? Why did you move there? Why did you relocate your family here?
It really was happenstance. 20 years ago, I'm from Los Angeles, and my husband was offered a job up here. And when I said to my friends, oh, I think we might move to Santa Barbara. And even though it was only an hour and a half north of where I lived, I actually had not been to Santa Barbara very much. So when my husband said, do you want to move? I'm like, sure. We needed a bigger house. We have a growing family. And I thought, okay, an hour and a half is not that far. He's not in the same job now, but it's what kept us here. It's just the beauty. And my children, although they were born not in Santa Barbara, they consider this their hometown.
Maureen, when you and I have been talking previously, we've talked about people migrating to Santa Barbara. What is the draw? Why are so many people choosing to migrate there? What's the buzz about?
I think the buzz is that a lot of people that are moving here are within California already, particularly after the ability to work out of your house and COVID started. People were like, wow, I am only an hour and a half north of Los Angeles, so you can easily still work in Los Angeles and live in Santa Barbara, and a 20-minute air flight from San Francisco. So when people realized I don't have to work and live in the same community, I want to go live where I want to really live. And that is, for a lot of people, Santa Barbara, because it is still accessible to where their job may be while they're not working remote. And I think that a lot of people see the value here. We have a plethora of arts and lecture series that are fabulous. We have great museums. We have a fantastic little zoo. So it's really the best of both worlds. It's a small city that lives big.
It sounds amazing. And what seasonal activities do you have? I know you have wineries. What else do you have as well?
You know, the funny thing is, we don't really have seasons. I mean, yes, we have winter, spring, summer, fall, but because our median temperature is really 72 degrees year round, our hiking is fabulous. I mean, if you're into hiking, it's one of the best places to go hiking. Bicycling, we are a huge bike community. Our beaches are stunning. So of course you have year round is one of the best surf spots. Rincon Beach, which is a little bit south of us in Ventura County, is one of the best beach spots in the world. You know, kayaking, the ocean sports are huge. It's just a really great, gentle community.
Maureen, could you tell us a little bit about the culture, the downtown restaurants?
Oh gosh, we have great restaurants. Gene Montesano, who owns Lucky's, is famous. Great Italian, we have Indian, we have Spanish. I mean, you name it, you're going to get the culinary palates will all be fulfilled.
Tell us a little bit about the schools, especially since you raised 2 children there.
Wow, we have great schools. I'll start with the university level. UCSB is located right on the ocean. I mean, how great would that be to go to college or university and just look at the ocean every day? Then we have Santa Barbara City College, which is the #1 rated city college in the nation. We have Westmont College, that is a smaller private Christian college located in Montecito. And then our high schools, we have 3 public high schools. And then as the grammar school level in Montecito, Cold Springs is the #1 rated grade school in the state of California. They have a selection of schools here for everybody.
Maureen, talk about access to flights, commutability. How are people commuting back and forth around the country to Santa Barbara?
Well, the nice part about Santa Barbara is that we have our own, the cutest little airport you will ever see. And as the planes come back into action, what's nice is that we have direct flights to and from the following cities. Let me share with you. Direct flights to Los Angeles, direct flights to San Francisco, direct flights to Portland and Seattle. Now we're flying to Las Vegas, and direct flights to Chicago. We do have a weekly flight that I think is coming back to Minnesota. And what happens is we have a direct flight to Dallas. So we have a pretty good selection of places where you can jump off to.
And where do you think most of the buyers are coming from right now?
Predominantly our buyers are coming from Los Angeles and San Francisco. And a lot of that is because they can still access their workplace if they need to. People come here at different times of the year, and more often than not, it's to get away from their own weather. One of the things, the #1 reason I think people like to live here is because of our weather.
Let's talk about architectural design. What are you seeing in regards to architectural design today?
Well, a lot of people are drawn to Santa Barbara for the architectural design, which is very much of a Spanish influence. We have a lot of signature architects that are noted. George Washington Smith, Reginald Johnson, Windsor Soul, the list goes on. And their homes built from the 20s and 30s are really statement pieces that identify that whole Spanish feeling. There's no lack of red tile roofs in Santa Barbara. What we're starting to see a little bit as people remodel or build a new home, the new look is becoming really more of a modern farmhouse look. And then, of course, a lot of people always say, I want a house that looks like the San Ysidro Ranch, which is one of the most revered destination spots to stay as a hotel. So really we have contemporary, heavy Spanish, mid-farmhouse. We have Victorian downtown. So really any style you're going to find it here.
And Maureen, what are you seeing in regards to inventory? Are you seeing developments?
We've not seen a lot of developments. We don't have a lot of land. I mean, as I was saying before, you know, the shortest distance from Montecito, from the ocean to the mountains, is only 1.5 miles long, to the base of the mountain, I should say. And then we're 12 miles long from Carpinteria to Goleta. So it's not a lot of land. So we don't have a lot of new developments, but we do have people who buy houses and then we will remodel their house or they'll build a new house.
Are you seeing multiple offers?
Oh, yes, on every price point level. I mean, it's
Wow.
not unheard of. Every single price point is seeing multiple offers. And I'm talking about up to $20 million, multiple offers.
That's amazing. What is Santa Barbara seeing in regards to appreciation year over year?
Year over year, I would say that Santa Barbara has gone up at least 20%. Montecito's probably gone up about 30%, 35%. It's insane. These numbers are insane. I believe that what's happening today in Santa Barbara, this is a resetting of our prices. This is not an inflationary thing that's going to come back down. And some people will say, "Oh, I'm going to wait to buy a house," and I'm thinking, I wouldn't wait. This is a resetting of our prices.
I have said exactly the same thing here in
Yeah.
the San Francisco Silicon Valley. It is a resetting. If you wait, you're going to be in the I wish I woulda category.
I hear that. I'm already hearing that.
Yeah. Maureen, let's talk about condition when they see a house on the market.
Every condition. I mean, the majority of the houses here are in very good condition, excellent condition, not very good, they're in excellent condition. Of course, we also often have trust sales, and the house will go on the market and somebody's lived there for 50 years and the trust just sell it. So for the most part, what I do find is most people like to come into Santa Barbara and make their own imprint on the house they're purchasing. So it doesn't matter if a house is in perfect condition. Somebody will easily come in and redo the whole house because they want it to be their statement.
And when I think of Santa Barbara, and a lot of people think of Santa Barbara actually, they think Santa Barbara is high-end vacation, resort living, and they think of grandeur. Can you tell us what price points we can expect at Santa Barbara?
Let's start with different areas. In Carpinteria, the entry level is about $900,000. In Montecito, your entry level is $2 million. In Santa Barbara, your entry level is about $1 million. In Goleta, it is entry level is probably $900,000, $1 million.
So you got
the numbers go all the way up.
And then they go up.
Yeah, in Montecito, your entry level is $2 million. The highest priced house right now, I think, is $75 million.
So it goes the gamut. So which is it can be affordable.
It can be, yeah.
Okay, Maureen, it's that time for one of my favorite questions that I always ask, your favorite buyer story. And if I remember right, it has something to do with your husband. So do tell.
Okay, it is kind of funny. So we moved up here, and you know, as everybody, when you start your real estate journey, you always have a budget, right? So we started looking, and our budget just kept going up. We were looking around, and we went at first, and we're in an area called Hope Ranch. Hope Ranch is a beautiful part of Santa Barbara. It has its own private beach. It has horse trails throughout the community, and very much of a horse community. And so we looked at a house. It was a little bit over the budget my husband wanted to pay. He was hemming and hawing. So the agent says to us, and I had hired an agent even though I had my own real estate license because I was new to the area and I wanted to have an expert. She goes, well, you know what, let me take you down to the private beach in Hope Ranch. And we said, great. So we walked down to the private beach and we're standing there. It was a glistening, really beautiful Saturday morning. We looked out and there was this beautiful luxury yacht sitting out there. And we're looking at it going, wow, that is like beautiful. And as we turn to the right, on the beach comes a person on a horse, horseback riding. And my husband looks at the yacht, he looks at this person on the horse, and he looks at the agent and said, write it up. So it makes me laugh. That's not the house that we wound up buying because, yes, it was a multiple offer situation. And that was 20 years ago. So we didn't get it, but that's probably my favorite buyer story.
That's great. Love it. So, Maureen, I need to thank you for being on this episode of Location Luxe. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Alan, for taking the time as well.